If you're just coming in, click the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you want to throw something in the tip jar, that information is below this live stream. Okay, so this article is entitled, well, here we go. ESPN sees Michigan as a 500 team. I know you guys are going to have some jokes off of this one. But honestly, with the amount of turnover in the coaching staff, with the number of players who entered the transfer portal, with having to decide on a quarterback, 500 might be a good guess, a good estimate, in my opinion. So, ESPN updated its preseason football power index earlier today, and Michigan checks in at number 40 in the country. The national opinion of Jim Harbaugh and Michigan seems to be trending down on a daily basis. Earlier today, ESPN updated its preseason football power index, and the Wolverines are sitting at number 40. That's 15 spots behind Indiana. That's 10 spots behind Northwestern. It's also behind programs like Coastal Carolina, Tulane, Wake Forest, and Appalachian State. Appy State. Ohio State, Penn State, Wisconsin, and Iowa are barely worth mentioning in the same sentence as Michigan, as they check in at number 5, 10, 15, and 23, respectively. Put it bluntly, confidence in Harbaugh and U of M is at an all-time low. The FPI doesn't just rank teams, it calculates the likelihood of different things happening as well. The index gives Michigan a 0% chance at going undefeated. Well, I mean, who's going to expect that this season? Anyway, making the playoff, making the national championship game, and winning the national title. None of those predictions are exactly surprising, and everyone after number 28, Virginia Tech, is essentially in the same boat. I've never been a fan of Kit Kats. My favorite candy bars, Three Musketeers, and Butterfinger. Still, that's a company that most Michigan fans don't consider themselves a part of. The more alarming numbers, which are quite hard to argue with at this point, are the win-loss totals and the chances to win the division and or the conference. ESPN essentially sees Michigan as a 6-6 team with virtually no shot to compete in the conference, giving the Wolverines just a 2% chance to win the division and a 0.7% chance at winning the Big Ten. Ouch. Within the Big Ten, Michigan is expected to perform better than Nebraska, Minnesota, Purdue, Maryland, Michigan State, Rutgers, and Illinois in 2021. Sure, that's half of the conference, but it's not exactly a who's who of college football powerhouses. It's also not really surprising because those are the main teams Michigan has had regular success against since Harbaugh took over the program. Since Harbaugh became Michigan's head coach in 2015, the Wolverines are 25-1 against Indiana, Minnesota, Northwestern, Maryland, Rutgers, Illinois, Nebraska, and Purdue. Conversely, U of M is just 9-15 against Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, Iowa, and Wisconsin during the same time period. Going 25-1 against the bottom feeders in the Big Ten isn't noteworthy. Going 9-15 against teams who generally win more games than they lose is. Losing more often than winning against just about every team worth its salt is one of Harbaugh's biggest downfalls. Couple that track record with all the changes to the staff, the question marks at quarterback, and several other key position groups, and one of the tougher schedules in the country, and this is what you get: a preseason ranking of 40 going into Harbaugh's 7th year at the helm. Former publisher of Wolverines Digest, Steve Dace, did a little research and fired off this tweet after ESPN's FPI rankings were updated earlier today. So Steve Dace says, ESPN's FPI used mainly for sports betting has Michigan 40th in its preseason college football rankings. Here's where FPI ranked Michigan the past 5 seasons. So, well, yeah, that's drastically different. In 2020, we were 16th. In 2019, we were 5th. In 2018, we were 11th. In 2017, we were 18th. In 2016, we were 11th. Only once have the Wolverines exceeded their ranking, and that was by 1 spot in 2016. Ouch, again. All right. ESPN's Football Power Index projects Michigan's 2021 win-loss record. This is written by Clayton Safey. ESPN released, let me build this up for myself. ESPN released its first version of its Football Power Index rankings heading into the 2021 season. The site will later project the outcome of each and every game of the college football season, but for now, it has predicted the big picture result of every team's slate. Below, we break down what the FPI is, saying about Michigan heading into the 2021 campaign. And I don't know chronologically where this article is in relation to the last one I read to you. The FPI has Michigan tabbed as the number 40 team in the country out of 130, with the season set to begin 137 days from now. The Wolverines have a rating of 7.2, which correlates to the expected point margin versus average opponent on neutral field. That means the Maize and Blue are an above average team that would be favored by just over a touchdown against the most average ball club in the country. Factors that go into the ratings are said to be returning starters, past performance, recruiting rankings, and coaching tenure. So the projected win-loss record. The FPI projects Michigan to win 6.4 games and lose 5.7 contests, which with rounding comes to a 500 record of 6-6. There are actually 29 teams that are ranked below Michigan, projected by the metric to win more than 6.4 games this season, with the Wolverines' strength of schedule not doing them any favors in that regard. What Michigan's chances are to... The FPI gave out percentage chances of Michigan and every team in the nation to win all of their games, win at least 6 games, win their division, win their conference, make the college football playoff, appear in the national title game, and win the national championship. Here are the chances the metric gave the Wolverines to win out: 0, win 6+ games, 71%, win the Big Ten East, 2%, win the Big Ten, 0.7%, make it to the college football playoff, 0%, make the national title game, 0%, win the national championship, 0%. Where Michigan's opponents rank in the FPI. Below is a look at Michigan's schedule and where each of its 12 opponents rank in this release of the FPI. All right, so here's the schedule. Western Michigan, UW, that's where Giles Jackson went. Northern Illinois, so Western Michigan is on September 4th. University of Washington is on September 11th. Oh boy, that date, I just realized what that date was. Northern Illinois, September 18th. Rutgers, September 25th. Wisconsin, October 2nd. Nebraska, October 9th. So Wisconsin and Nebraska are on the road. that Wisconsin game is going to be tough because we usually don't win up at Camp Randall unless Tom Brady is quarterbacking the team. Indiana, November 6th. Up at Penn State on November 13th. Here at Maryland on November 20th. And then the Ohio State on November 27th. Interesting. Michigan plays 5 teams that check in ahead of it in the FPI, including number 5 Ohio State, number 10 Penn State, number 15 Wisconsin, number 25 Indiana, and number 30 Northwestern, making the 2021 schedule a daunting one. The good news for the Wolverines, though, is that they don't play a team ranked higher than them until week 5 at Wisconsin. Washington, number 59, is set to be the toughest test in the non-conference. All right, guys. Well, that's it. You know what I think? Let me bring back this picture of Jimbo coaching him up. I think it's better to probably undersell. Yeah, I mean, I don't have lofty expectations for this year based upon the turnover in the coaching staff and in the ranks of the players, and also the uncertainty at quarterback. So in some instances, it's better to undersell and then overperform as opposed to oversell and then underperform. I think I said that right. It's better to undersell and overperform as opposed to overselling and underperforming. So, so I'm gonna go, and it's still early. I mean, it's still early for me to be making these predictions, but based upon what I know now, I think that's a safe bet. And in terms of the schedule being tough and having all those ranked teams on it, I think that's a knowing what I know about sports. If this group of players stays together and if the coaching staff stays with them, a season of getting their butts whooped, if it's going to make them stronger in another year or two, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So getting, I mean, you never want to see your team get humiliated, but oftentimes the cores of teams that get humiliated and they get whooped, if they stay together, they tend to get stronger as time goes on. But that's assuming they get developed as well, and not too many of them enter the transfer portal.